What's going on?
I'm day's almost done. Day's almost done. Okay. Well, how was your day?
I'm pretty mellow. It's Thursday, so Thursdays are kind of hit and miss. They're on the mellower side, but
Mhm.
tomorrow's billing, so I was concerned. But the kids are behaving, so I'm gonna take it.
All right. Hello, Hitmaker 9000. Thank you for joining us tonight. Wait, is that Black Lavender?
I think so.
Oh my God. Black Lavender, stop trying to trick us. Oh my God. But I see you're coming in through Twitter/Periscope. Yay. Thanks for joining us, my friend. Okay, guys, welcome to the commentary zone at night. As you enter the room, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Let me do the same right here. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and the notification bell. Tell a friend, follow us on Twitter, like how Hitmaker 9000 is. You can see the live stream over there as well. Hey, Nisei. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Follow us on IG as well. Okay,
And
today. Ooh,
replay
oh
crew,
yes, the
welcome
replay
as
crew.
well. Welcome as
Welcome to the
well.
replay crew.
Yes.
Okay, we got two messages that we're going over tonight. The Real Housewives of New York City, season 13, episode 11, The Witching Hour, and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 11, episode 10, Affairs and Accidents. Ugh. New York first?
Yeah, New York first, definitely.
Okay. What the hell happened? The hell happened?
This one was not bad for me. To me, there was two parts to this show. The first part was the whole Bershon and Sonia situation, and then the second part was them talking to Sonia, and then the seance. That's how the show broke down for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. How long is this Salem trip gonna last?
This is the cast trip. They're gonna be there for weeks. No, just kidding. I have no clue.
Okay, so what happened first was the blow up with Sonia and Bershawn. We
Yes,
we we enter the episode with that. And was Bershawn drunk or not?
I didn't think she was drunk personally. Not that. At least probably maybe she was drunk, but she just holds her alcohol better. If that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Hey Susan. Hey Willow. Black Lavender has switched over. Welcome, Black Lavender, to the You in the Tube. Okay, I didn't think she was that drunk, to be quite honest. But that's what she was going with.
And
Um,
have you noticed something though? And maybe it's me. I want to hear from the chat as well. For me, anytime she gets her feet held to the fire, it was she was drunk. Because you remember the other night, I think they were in Salem, where remember her and somebody got into it. Was it her and Sonia again? Was it that same night?
mhm. Where she called them old ladies,
Yeah,
grannies, or something.
she was drunk, and they were like, "Well, I don't think so, since you were able to make it down the street in those heels on
Hmm.
cobble."
Yeah, yeah,
That seems to be her go-to. So I'm gonna watch that moving forward.
yeah. Hey Montana. Hey Yanni. Hey Susan. Hey GTA. Hey Vale. Um, I just can't figure it out with her. I think for a life coach, she makes a lot of excuses, and for a life coach, I feel like she attacks people. Like she doesn't know them. And I get what
Yeah,
she's saying. Well, I thought, like I could talk to you like how I talk to my girlfriends, but don't you feel out people first before you're that free with insults?
that was my thing.
I love when Ebony says to Luann, Bershawn is on her own
Yep.
at the elevator. um, let's see. Then we have the altercation like everybody goes to their room, but for some reason, Bershawn and Sonia come to Leah's room and get in each other's faces again. Sonia is clearly drunk. Just
Yes.
call a thing a thing. Bershawn's kind of sounded slurry-ish. Like her words weren't as clear to me as normal.
Right.
And all of a sudden, what's her name? Leah had to like get to the door to get production in there to pull them apart because she didn't want her nose to be hit. They
That was
pull
good.
Sonia
That was
out
hilarious.
and you hear shattering glass. The hell happened?
I thought it was funny. Leah, good job. She's all, I got to protect the nose.
Well, she spent enough on it. Is it
Exactly.
insured?
But the thing is, she understood what her priorities were, though. She wasn't playing them type of games with them. She was no, 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 no.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. So ultimately, Sonia's handbag hit the glass panel in front of the fire extinguisher thing, and that's what broke.
Right.
Ooh, who paying for that?
Exactly.
Bershawn did bring up a good point, though. Don't come up in certain people's faces like that, because you might get, I think Sonia was lucky that it was Bershawn and not somebody else. Just saying.
My thing is, for me, I tend to give drunk people passes because, like, you're drunk. I'm, I'm, I'm less inebriated than you are, so I'm not going to go back and forth with you like that. It's just I feel when you're the less drunk of the two, just walk away. Because my philosophy is if you're arguing with a drunk person who's clearly drunk, who really looks crazy in this situation? You
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, behind Sonia that bad. Okay, so Yanni says, I get the feeling that conversation between Ebony and Leah behind Sonia's back, bad mouthing her, end up being repeated to Bershawn away from the cameras, and she actually acted on it. She repeated a lot of it. Again, I
Mm,
think that's a rookie mistake as well.
yeah, you don't go
Because
back repeating stuff.
yeah, you feel these people out on your own and judge them based on their actions towards you, not what somebody else has said. Especially somebody as messy as
Exactly.
Ramona. Oof.
I'm just big on getting to know people on my own accord. Yes, do I take into account what people say and keep in the back of my mind? Of course, we all do. But like, I'm not going to judge you against um other people's experiences. Like when I have friends and they get into arguments and fight, I tell them, I'm like, look, these are your issues with each other. It has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
I'm
Yanni's
like,
having a stream of thought in the chat. She doesn't. Okay, so Montana says she doesn't know these ladies well enough to say the things she said. There's some kind of anger behind that response, or is it desperation, wanting to get an apple?
same.
Okay. Hi, Muriel. I saw a pic of Bershawn's finger was inches from Sonia's face, so she did it too. Yes, they were both in
Yes.
each other's face.
Mhm.
They were. This is one situation where you could say both of them were a wee bit aggressive. Very unbecoming of the 50 and fighting? Okay.
Yes, but not to make excuses, but I think Bershawn's reaction was a little bit out of place because we don't know her yet, and she doesn't know these ladies like that. But
Mm-hmm.
Sonia's I understood because she's had what years of this, and I think she just hit her breaking point after 20 years or so. So I
Okay.
understand Sonia more than I understand Bershawn.
Okay. Definitely. Clearly, she was told by someone something to get the. Oh. Oh, Yanni. Mm. She needs a check. Both drunk and aggressive. Yes,
Mhm.
Vale. Yes,
Yes.
Vale. In this case, quite right. Um. Okay, then we see Luann and Ramona go to Leah's room and they're talking about Sonia. Um, Luann says that it's Ramona's fault because she set high expectations with Bershawn, and if things don't change with Bershawn and her behavior, she has to go. Luann has issued an order via the Countess's executive office. Shape up or ship out.
Right. We voting you off the island. The
She
Countess has
really
spoken.
did go back to being the Countess in that one little scene. I was like, ooh, this is the bitch that I used to like.
She had me rolling when she said that. She was like, look, I'm queen here. You're princess. Princess, go handle that. That's your friend.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry I'm drinking, y'all. It's been a rough day.
Yes, Saluna, she has spoken, and in that order.
Then Leah talks to Ramona regarding Sonia's drinking, and I guess this is the beginning of the intervention for Sonia.
Yes.
Okay, then we see the sit down between Ramona and Bershawn. I didn't really get anything out of that conversation.
No.
Okay. Bershawn says that she was triggered because Sonia got in her face. Oh well, you did too.
Right.
Bershawn says that she wants to apologize to the ladies for calling them grandmas. That's all? Like, you don't want to apologize to Sonia? I don't get it. All right. Leah calls Ebony. Leah is just telling everybody about what went down. The glam on this trip is ridiculous between Leah and Ebony, but go do y'all, girl.
But here's the thing. Okay, you're doing glam in Salem next.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry, it's a town with the Salem witch trials. It's a little gloomy and dark, and you're gonna do glam. Okay, hey, you know, you trying to like get on Dorit's ambassadorship train. I understand it. You know, you trying to get there. I get it. I'm just saying.
Okay, so this is something that Yanni said, and I agree with this. I believe that Sonia thinks that the girls are a safe place for her to like really let it rip. And I think she expects understanding from them, knowing that she's not always like that. But now she's like self-editing, saying, I don't think this is such a safe place anymore. But I think I'm getting
Right.
ahead of myself.
No, a little bit, but I think they kind of go. I think that scene's next. But I
Well,
agree.
Ramona goes to Sonia's room. She's just woken up. And Ramona says she needs to see a good pharmaceutical therapist. And by the time they get themselves together, they head out to the elevator to meet everybody else. And Sonia says, it's a great effing trip. All right. So they have.
Vale says Vale says Glam Squad and RHONY is a no-no. I love when they just drain buttons. Well, I agree because no one's had Glam Squads until this
Beverly
season.
Hills? Yeah.
No, on this show.
On this show? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm sorry, just we don't call a thing a thing. Leah, you're not a glam girl, and that's okay.
But I didn't realize she was getting like full on extensions. Like that needs help because we saw how Sonia's look.
Mm-hmm. And then with Ebony, I mean, Ebony doesn't strike me as a glam squad type of girl. For me, she strikes me as a woman who would go to a salon. You know,
I
you be glam.
disagree with that.
Really?
She's had her own TV show on Fox.
That's fair.
They get hair and makeup coming into
Makeup
them to
done.
go on camera.
That's
She's
fair.
accustomed to that going on camera.
That's fair. That's
Mm-hmm.
fair. I forget that. I just wouldn't think that wouldn't transfer over to this. So this is a different
It's still on
medium.
camera. It's still in her head. This is on camera,
Okay,
and you're projecting an image.
gotcha.
And then she said, you know, I got the black girl here. It need a little extra time to get ready. So I understand where she's coming from because she's thinking television.
Right.
Leah,
Attention.
well, at least she paying, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I'm
uh,
not mad at her.
unlike Anila. whatever. I digress. Okay. They have a long trip to this restaurant and they sit down and I guess they're having sushi or whatever. The sushi kind of looked good though. I ain't gonna lie.
I've never had sushi
Mm-hmm.
outside of some tempura and a California roll, but that's not real sushi. I understand, but it looked good though.
Mm-hmm.
All the food always looks good though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bershan then goes on to apologize for being too familiar and not acknowledging boundaries. She gets emotional. I didn't buy it. Luann made a good point. She said it came across wrong. And then she attacked Sonia and she's going to defend her friend. Um, Again, the Countess arrived. I was
I
here for
mean,
it.
Lady Countess de Lesseps has re-entered the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm gonna let y'all know because since y'all can't get it right with the etiquette in the class, now I'm gonna tell you how to do it, and give you a
Yes,
copy of, and then give you a copy of my book at the reunion.
that's right. That's right. And you can download my single on iTunes.
Montana
Um,
has a good point. The ladies don't listen to Sonia because she is drunk every day of the trip. You teach people how to treat you and the part you play.
yeah.
That is fair. That's extremely fair.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's interesting, Sonia is making sense. Let's not discount that. But it's hard to take a drunk person seriously
But
when you're
here's the
drunk every day.
thing. They're they're very dismissive of Sonia, whether she's drunk or sober, because at this point, when they were serving the sushi, she wasn't drunk yet. And when Bershan apologizes directly to her, Sonia then tries to say something and she's spoken over. And I just think like even when what's she name? Ramona was asking for a Kleenex. Like there are fucking napkins on the table. Make
Right.
use. And it's just very dismissive of Sonia. And I get that she's drunk, right? But like that's supposed to be your friend. You don't want to show any sort of respect when she's talking, especially in an important moment like this where someone is apologizing to her and then maybe she might apologize to that person back because she was in Bershan's face.
Hmm.
I just find like they're
It's
so
just that
rude with
Sonia.
Sonia.
It's just that Sonia allowed them to use her as a doormat. And I will say this, and I've said this before. Sonia was at her best when Bethany was on the show. Sonia was more
Mm-hmm.
confident. She was more assured because she knew, even though Bethany was tough on her, and Bethany actually had her best interest at heart. And she
Mm-hmm.
felt comfortable with Bethany. With these ladies, not so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have Sonia yelling at Ramona to shut the F up. And then she finishes her thought with Bershan that what hurt her the most was that Bershan mimicked her, and that's what hurt her the most. That's all she wanted to get out.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Oh Lord.
GTA says, as a New Englander and history nerd, I wish the Housewives would stop going to historical places for cast trips. They are wicked disrespectful towards history and the significance of the places. I agree,
Yeah.
but I just
Because
want to
didn't they get
understand.
into a big fight at the Morgan house?
Yes,
Remember?
yes.
That's my family. Don't touch the letters. My God. Um, what's next? So now we see them getting ready. They assemble
Hmm.
in the lobby and they're heading out to go to this seance
Yeah,
at a haunted restaurant, I think they said.
something like that. That's what I recall. It was interesting.
It was like I would have never thought to go to Salem, but now I'm looking at it going, wow, there's lots of stuff to do there.
Hmm. It's a lot.
Interesting.
It's very historical touristy, as I call it.
Mm. So Sonia decides to order a drink again once they get there. Leah, Luann, and Ramona are trying to do this intervention, sort of a
Yes.
soft intervention. I'll put a soft intervention. They give Bershawn and Ebony the heads up what they're doing, so they're staying over there while Leah and the other two try to get Ramona so that they can talk to her. Ramona's like stealing her drinks. Sonia notices. They go over and they start talking. Leah's the one who starts off the chat. What'd you think about this?
I understand what they're trying to do. I do. But how can I put this? So it was Leah. Was it Leah, Luann, and Ramona, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna put this as nicely as possible. Can't two people who are 3 minutes into sobriety come at me about my drinking? No. Leah, no. Luann, you definitely can't tell me nothing because you got mugshots behind your drinking, so you just need to sit down over there. And baby, we gonna talk about it like you lucky that Bethany was there to pay for everything and to do the intervention and convince them not to put it on camera. Yes, I would just went in and just on
Oof.
everybody. No, 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 no. You know, and ma'am, let's not talk about your lawsuit the kids filed against you because drinking was part of the problem. So when you have all those issues tied into your drinking, you are not the one to be doing an intervention. You
Not
left
even
rehab
say
early.
don't wind up like me arrested with a mugshot.
Well, the Wayne's not gonna even say that. Not in those
Didn't you
terms, softly. And
know?
then you left rehab early because you had to get back to cabaret. Next, you can sit down with that.
And well, Leah has a mugshot like a decade ago, probably from whatever she was doing. So she can't say anything either.
No, and like you could do it. You can show concern. I'm okay with that, but I wouldn't have done it on a trip, and what I would have done it in private. If you got the cameras, they're cool, no problem. But they should have each talked to her one on one because you don't gang up on somebody when you think they're in a vulnerable spot because they're not going to take it well.
Okay. I did take note of something that Bershawn said to Ebony away from the other ladies. And she says Sonia is in a place of hurt and trying to speak her voice. This is where I was like, oh, the life coach showed up.
Right.
Where was she this entire trip? Jesus. But I thought it was pretty spot on. And I don't think Leah, Luann, or Ramona got through to Sonia because Sonia says it's okay and she's not explaining herself no more. Next drink.
hmm And I
Yeah.
think Yanni has a very good point. When Leah acted like a drunk fool, Sonia never treated her as she was as a problem, and that's
Mhm.
100% true.
But didn't Leah say, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here and I'm listening. Isn't that how she opened it up though?
That was the end.
That was the end.
That was the
Oh,
end.
okay.
But you don't do that to people, in my opinion. If
Hmm.
you're a true friend, you pull them aside and have a conversation. And if things spiral out of control, then you do a whole group like, look, we all feel this way at this point.
Honestly, I think this was part of the storyboard for Sonia
Of course.
is to go down this road yet again. All right, so we get to the seance. There's a male psychic who's younger, and then a middle-aged woman who's another psychic. The guy said he saw a goat when he was looking at Persian. I didn't know how to take that.
I was like, okay.
And then for Luann, he said he got a message from a man who's moody and going separate ways. I guess she understood that, but I didn't. So I was
I,
glad he was done.
I thought it was Garth, personally.
That's the guy out on Long Island that cooked the curry lamb. Garth is his name?
Yeah, he's the personal trainer she was dating. The blonde guy.
Right. She'd probably already gotten rid of him.
Yeah, you said that though.
Mm. Okay, so then the lady psychic starts with Leah, and she saw a woman coming through, and she said that the studying of the Judaism is good for her. What producer whispered this in this woman's ears? But okay.
Right.
Ebony is next, and the psychic says she feels a woman standing behind her. She feels it's her grandmother. She has a bit of an attitude, but she's very proud of Ebony, and she wants her to carry on with her message for women and keep going forward. And that kind of validates Ebony and makes her feel better knowing that her grandmother's spirit is with her. I thought that was really nice of the producers to tell the psychic.
I'm gonna agree with Vale on this one. Why didn't they go to Lori Cabot, the current highest witch of Salem?
Probably couldn't afford her.
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm no disrespect, but budgets are tight during COVID. Maybe she didn't want to risk herself.
That could be it too. That's a very good point though.
Yeah, but I feel it's like I don't think they could afford like the top lady.
Yeah, high witches don't come cheap.
Yeah.
Nor do the high the head gypsies. They're not coming cheap either.
Or maybe that lady didn't want to associate herself with Bravo or this. She has a reputation to uphold.
Right.
You never know. You never know. Let's see. All right, so we did Ebony. Sonia's next. And she sees a male figure. She thinks it's her father. He apologizes to her. She discloses that he has a drinking problem. Me, like Luann, I had no idea.
Zero. Ramona didn't even know.
Wow. But it makes Sonia emotional. I thought it was kind of fake, but that's just me being mean, even though I love Sonia. The emotions were running really high at the table, and I think they were all trying to one up each other for the emotional outburst.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of, how can I put it, emotional type things, particularly for TV, and when they seem so produced. Especially when we've never heard of this in all your time on the show. I mean, Ramona didn't know, Luann didn't know. I mean, this could be part of her problem. But she doesn't talk. With Sonia, everything's about fun and this and that, and maybe like the townhouse, but like she never lets you below that surface.
But like, remember, Sonia has a habit of running from reality. Remember when Century 21 closed out? Where did she do? She ran to the desert and just hid there for months.
That's part of her issue is like she doesn't talk. I mean, there has to be one person you talk to. I like to think we all have that one person like we could talk to no matter what, and that just lets me know how unsafe she really feels with Luann and Ramona, because they said they didn't even know. And that was a big catch for me. Like, oh, like y'all been friends this long and you didn't know? That's interesting to me.
Yeah. Sonia shares in her confessional that she was one of 4 kids raised by a single mom because her dad left when she was very young. But the psychic tells her, interestingly enough, she wants her to see a psychologist with a PhD to help her.
She's like, because you need someone that's more than just a regular. I was like, oof.
Yeah.
Speak on it. Say it.
So then next they focus on Ramona, and the psychic sees a man a little bit younger than Ramona. Turns out it's her brother. I feel like Ramona gave more information than the psychic did. But her brother unfortunately died a few years ago. He was very self-destructive,
Hmm.
and she said that she tried to save him throughout her life, but it got to a point where she just had to disassociate. And I guess that's when he passed away, which is really sad. You know, no one likes to see a sibling or a parent or a child pass.
Especially in that way, because you feel
Mhm.
hopeless, because you
Mhm.
just couldn't do anything, and at that point, when at the very end, there comes a point where you have to choose yourself or the other person, and in
Mhm.
life you have to choose yourself, especially
Yeah.
if you have a family.
Yeah. The psychic says that her brother said he wanted to die, but he loves her and he knew that she tried to help him. And Ramona feels like she pushed him away. Um that was the end of the seance. They go and they build a fire. We find out that what's her face? Leah's been wearing her dress backwards the whole night. This was the outfit I really didn't understand. What was that big black tongue hanging down in the front of her legs? Like it was odd. Very, very
Because
odd.
maybe if it had been worn the right way,
No,
it,
but remember the dress
oh,
was
the
just
other
that
dress,
mini dress, but then
the
she
other
had
dress,
like a overcoat with a long black thing.
it was avant-garde, Debbie. That's what she was going
I
for.
don't care what like pretty words you call it. It was just weird.
Avant-garde. That's what she was.
Mhm.
That's what we're gonna call it.
Okay. Um.
Let's see. Ramona
Yeah,
grew up.
and then the episode she flashes her butt at everybody, and that was it.
Ramona grew up with an alcoholic dad, and her siblings are a huge mess. She doesn't even talk to them. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Mm. Anything else about the episode?
No, the
Okay.
trailer looks good though,
Hmm.
but
But again, they
like
have
Beverly Hills.
creative editing.
Yeah, like Beverly Hills. I'm like, we could just skip this whole first 10 episodes. We could just start right here.
You so mean. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but doesn't mean I'm lying. Just saying.
Oh my god. Okay, so next we go to Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Okay. Why are they always showing Lisa alone in that house?
Cause they wrong.
and
Cause they wrong.
and then they show Dorit's house full of people, children who love her. Shady.
Yeah, I was like, really?
Mm, mm, mm.
Rude? I will say this. I'm not a kids fan at all. But for some
Mhm.
reason, I see their kids on the show, the little ones, they always make me smile. Especially Dorit's children. They just
Cause
are
they
so
drag
cute.
her.
Well,
That's why you like it. They drag her.
hey,
Them kids, what, 4 and 6? And they be just calling mommy out every episode.
oh my, vintage is hilarious. Welcome, vintage. I could be
Oh.
wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm not lying. Yeah, that is the truth.
Oh my god. All right, so everybody's packing to go where? Oh,
Kyle's
to the
house
desert.
and like Quinta's, and I want to say this. Um, I love Kyle's La Quinta house.
That was
I
the
like.
best stolen property ever on any franchise.
I like. Is it me or do you like her La Quinta house better than her Beverly Hills house?
Yeah, even
I
when
was
it
like,
wasn't that nice.
right, but still though,
The
I
outdoor
love that.
space is what makes it, and she's opened up that entryway and
Yes.
foyer and the staircase. She's changed the flooring, she's upgraded the kitchen, but that outdoor space was the first thing that she worked on when she first
Mm.
stole it from Kim. And let me tell you, that was the best stolen property ever.
And that view is ridiculous.
Mhm.
I'm like, why don't y'all live out here? I mean, probably because the other house is convenient to everything, but like,
Mhm.
I mean, to be honest, if Kyle plays it right, La Quinta, as we gonna call it, La Quinta could be their Berkshires.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Every year
Kyle.
Trick.
Kyle, get up on that. Write off the property taxes for work. I'm just telling you, get up on it.
Mhm.
Get up on that.
Mhm.
So they come in, and I like the fact that they already got the groceries, and they're gonna Kyle's
Wait,
doing the
getting too
cooking.
far ahead of yourself. Let's
But
discuss Erica giving up the office. What the hell she called it? I
oh,
can't remember. The
the
clubhouse.
club,
The clubhouse. Giving up the clubhouse.
which was smart because you can't afford it.
Mhm.
Just call a thing a
Mhm.
thing. Great job, Erica. You know, she's like she
Great
said she
job,
got lucky.
Erica.
Let me give her some props before we go in on her. You know, it was a great job. She said she got lucky and found someone to take over the lease,
Mhm.
and I was happy for her. She's also it's an expense. She says it's an expense I didn't need. No, ma'am, it's an expense you couldn't afford. Let's
Mhm.
just keep on the truth train here. So
Mhm.
good job to you. What you
Everything
think?
comes to an end.
Yeah, you're just mad that Tom didn't come to an end first, but that we digress.
Remind me at the end when we talking about the car accident. We gonna dive into that because I got some petty thoughts about that bullshit. All right, so everyone is heading down to Kyle's La Quinta house. Garcelle's
Mhm.
coming the next day because she has to do the reel.
Mhm.
Lisa arrives first in an outfit that was giving me a seizure. Just
Well,
saying.
you know, Lisa's adventurous.
It was just too much floating by.
Anyway,
All of the what was it, G's or whatever, all the Gucci or Fendi
yeah,
or whoever it was. It was
it was
just too much.
somebody with an initial.
Mm-hmm. Dorita arrives next, and she's the one who brings the groceries. I think so. Kathy arrives
Yeah.
with a jumbo candle. I thought this was popcorn. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, slow down.
Maybe I was hungry, but I thought it was popcorn until somebody said, "Oh my God, it's a huge candle." I was like, "Fuck, what a waste of money."
Mhm.
Thank you, GTA. I try not to be too petty, but I can't help it.
And here's the
Um,
thing: there's
mhm.
a difference between throwing petty shade based on what you've seen and the BS that you see versus being out and out rude, mean, and degrading. It's a difference. If you're being petty because like, look, this is what you've shown me. I don't believe you. You full of BS.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, like I think I'm like the rest of you guys in the chat. I'm like jokey petty. Just because I'm jealous and I don't have it. I'm poor. I'm jealous. It's okay.
Hey, sometimes you have to be petty when they're
Mm,
blatantly showing you some BS. It's like, look, you gave me the material to be petty, so I'm gonna do it.
mm-hmm. Dorit could be my friend though. Dorit could be my friend because she showed up with the groceries.
Okay, hold on. Doree could be my friend because of this. She came up with the groceries. She always looked good. When you go out, you want your friends looking good. Then you know she got all the best brand ambassadorships through any franchise. So you know she can get you like a secondary ambassadorship to get some of them clothes too. So yes, Dorit could be my friend, and you could travel internationally with Dorit because she speaks several languages, and can fake just about any accent. So who wouldn't want that friend? I'm just saying.
Oh
I'm just
my
saying.
God.
Even though her Italian accent is very very good, I'm with her.
Yes, Yanni, Kyle cooks, but I don't know if I want to eat nothing from Kyle to be honest. Kyle don't look like she cooked with any sort of flavor. As my mother would say, her food looked fresh, which means no salt. And I cook with a low sodium diet, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe if Garcelle threw something together, like some Haitian black rice, I'd be there all day for it. I don't know what she was putting together the other day when her two boys was in the kitchen. You know, that looked like some ragu on top of a wet noodle, and she threw it into the oven.
Here's my thing. Now, have you heard somebody putting chopped onion in their lasagna?
In Italian cooking, you can only you shouldn't mix onion and garlic. If you're using garlic, you don't use onion, and vice versa.
I've heard that. I have heard. Now I have heard that.
So, look, again, Kyle said it best. Why am I going to all this trouble and none of these bitches eat? It's true. However, this season they've been eating like they hungry.
Right, they're not playing. They probably could be watching people, and they know the person like, look, we didn't spend money on this food. Y'all gonna eat now.
Especially Erica. Erica be going back for seconds.
But Erica's from the South though, so she gets.
I
She
never
gets the sun
seen
of
Erica eat before though. Erica never used to eat. I think the Panorama did a number on all these women because even Lisa Rinna was putting a fork full of food in her mouth. Okay. So then they start. Crystal arrives, but she's staying at a hotel. And Sutton's there too. She says that her relationship with Sutton is improving or getting better, but she's glad to be at a hotel with a lock on the door. Shut up, girl. And then the talk about Erica starts.
But I want to talk about Kyle's lasagna. Now I understand that it was hot and fresh, but there wasn't enough meat, and there was too much sauce for me. Just saying.
Did we see it though? Like the
when
after thing?
when they went into they dug into it, it was all loose.
But it's eggplant though. I don't think she used any noodles. Did she use noodles, or was she using eggplant?
She could have used the eggplant, but it was just the meat to sauce ratio was off. Okay. Just saying. For me, and I've had some really good vegetarian lasagnas. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, so they gather around, and Dorit brings up the article that she saw where the government froze all of Tom's assets. And Dorit, I think this is one of the rare times that Dorit actually mentions her financial troubles, where she says that she understands how Erica feels because she remember when her assets were frozen because of something that PK did before she even knew him. So she said she felt for her. I was like, wait, you talking about what? She didn't talk about that during the season that it was happening to her, did she?
No. Real quick, so Alex and Deanna Ray, you're welcome, and you guys watch Real House International. Okay, so we want to, Alex, and we have, but Hey You is kind of whack, and they're not available in the United States. Because if you go into our playlist, you will see reviews for Real Housewives of Vancouver and Real Housewives of Johannesburg.
But we got cut off mid-season.
We got cut off because Hey You says like we don't offer you, because otherwise I would be all over Cheshire. I used to watch Melbourne I never watched Sydney. It was just Melbourne. Where Melbourne and Cheshire are my two internationals, and I miss those shows. Once if Hey You ever comes to the United States, yes, we would definitely cover the internationals because they are a scream.
Highlight Yanni's comment about BS from Dorit. She did have a point though. Like, you can marry someone, I don't advise this, and they not tell you everything. And PK looked like a fraud. Full on fraud.
But yes. But that too, but Dorit said he lost his money before they got together or something.
And why you marrying broke?
And then when Kathy said, my husband, why do this all the time? Because you trust your husband, you believe in them. And I understand you don't think they would do you wrong, but she's like, my husband came to me and signed 50 pages and just signed the exit. You think, are you gonna go over every little page? I'm like, I was like, baby, I'm gonna give this to my lawyer, have him look it over before I sign anything. But she's like, no, you just sign it. I'm like, see, that's some Teresa Giudice type of thing right there.
But here's the thing. Kathy been married to that man 50 years or something like that. It's a different generational thought pattern.
It is.
With these younger girls, not saying that that they're younger girls, but they are like a step behind her, about a decade.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different. And
Right.
they don't have as long standing marriages as she has.
Right.
And maybe she's established like Rick has morals. Some of these other ones, not so much. Just saying.
Yeah, I just think I give both sides of the coin. It's just
Mm-hmm.
me being the pessimistic type person I am, who wants to see everything and hear all the facts. I'm just not
Mm-hmm.
gonna blindly sign anything just because
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposedly trusting in this person. And
Yeah.
I've grown to believe this, that you should never trust someone 100%.
Like, would should Kyle do that with Mauricio? No.
Mm-mm.
Should Dorit do it with PK? No. Um, should Sutton have done it with her ex-husband? No, not with the way how he treated you with that divorce. You know, look at Garcelle with her ex-husband and what he put her through. No, but with Kathy and Rick, I think it's a little different.
Right.
It's a little different.
I like this, Debbie. We all do it. We trust our husband, but also not for Rick. Was broke when he married her, and all he had was his last name. His dad left him nothing for marrying
Mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I definitely understand. That's why their
Mm-hmm.
dynamic is a little bit
Yeah.
different, because he was broke, just like Mauricio was broke when Kyle
Mm-hmm.
married him, and Kyle's mom was really mad at her for doing that. She's like, that's not what I
Mm-hmm.
taught you to. That's not what I taught you to do. So I definitely understand they have a different type of marriage, and they met each other when both had pretty much had nothing. So it's different when you come into a marriage pretty much on equal footing, where you both have nothing, versus
Mm-hmm.
an Erica and Tom, where when she came in, she was wife number
Mm-hmm.
three, and he had already been established and had everything. Huge
Yeah.
power dynamic.
Yeah. Look what Montana says. My folks were married 60 years. Best believe my mom knew what she was signing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Let's see. What else are they saying here?
I thought that was a
Mm-hmm.
good scene. This episode overall for me was, I enjoyed this episode because I felt like we got some good life advice and
Mm-hmm.
perspective. This is what we want to see.
Well, after we find out that Dory says that you shouldn't put onions in lasagna, I think the episode shifted. Like the mood of the episode shifted with the arrival of Erica.
Oh, definitely. You could definitely feel it.
All right. I'm going to need you to get your thespian cap on, and I'm going to need you to do a dramatic reenactment of the arrival of Erica.
Oh, okay. Hey, girl. Erica, get in. Erica. Oh my God, get in. I'm just gonna hug you. Oh my God, Erica's here. I shouldn't hug you, but I am. Okay. Hi. How are you feeling? How's everything going? I'm not fine, and I won't be fine for a while, for a long time. I'm like, what? Like, it's just,
Standing
it's just,
ovation.
it's just it's just a lot. Sweetie, come here, sit down. Can I get you a drink? Yes, a drink would be nice. Erica, sit here. Thank you, girls. So what happened? She's like, I don't know. She's like, every day
My baby.
something, it's something different every day, and it's all bad. I'm like, well, yeah, like when you're getting a divorce and going through like lawsuits, yes, it's going to be bad every day. And it was just those moments where she would do the overacting killed me. So it was always the typical sniffle and then like head tilts, and you always look to the left. I'm like,
With a
oh,
hand up,
yeah, you gotta have the
gently
hand up.
shielding the face.
Yeah, yes, Montana. She practices those hands movements. They were too. They were too precise.
Mm-hmm.
They were too precise. No one
And
cries
then the
that way.
little cliche sayings, you know? everything has to come to an end. And what was it? It's not okay. It's not going to be okay for a long time. And that throaty voice,
Yeah,
as if she's still on Broadway in character. Child, please.
no. But shout out to her blue confessional look because she killed that.
You know the black and white Dalmatian look is growing on me.
Oh, that looks good too. But the blue was she killed the blue
The
outfit.
blue, because the blue is a very camera ready color,
Yes, and
and
it
then
fits
with
the
the
purple.
blonde hair as well.
She killed that. But
Um,
her, it's interesting with Erica. It's like okay, here we go again. But then when she would like drop that and would just talk, I'm like I was glued in.
mm-hmm. So let's talk about what she's saying about Tom.
She was pulling no punches when she said, "Let's start with the car. Let's start with the car accident because that came first before the other situation."
That didn't make no sense to me.
Yeah, he had the car accident.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then okay, it went from the car accident to the broke ankle. They thought they were two separate things, but like he got the broken ankle from the car accident. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
No, see, because I heard he got the broken ankle after the car accident. Like, was
That's
he
what that's what
thrown
Kyle
from the car?
that's what Kyle said because they thought it was two separate things, but now they understand the broken ankle was from the car accident. I'm like, okay, feasible. I'll go with you. But then what when they asked like, what did he hit a wall? She don't know. He he was driving home and basically drove off the cliff.
Yeah,
And
all of
then
the finger movements to
yeah,
show the car was confusing.
and then he drove off the cliff
Mm-hmm.
behind the house and he was thrown
Mm-hmm.
from the car.
And
And
so was he out of contact for a while? And she thought he was with another woman, but then he
right,
was unconscious for 12 hours or something?
but she called
Where?
him
Down
though.
the ditch?
But hold on, but then she called him though. And so I'm like, how are you calling? How did he call you if he's unconscious? I'm confused. That
Okay.
whole thing, that whole timeline made no sense.
We have to stop right now because we have to go back to the lasagna. Was there ricotta? Did we see any like containers of ricotta? I don't
I
remember
didn't.
that.
I
I
didn't
just
see none of
remember
that.
Kathy scrubbing the floor with the glass with the
Right,
barbecue scraper.
right.
Okay. But thank you, Val. You got a valid point. I'm trying to remember if there was ricotta. Can't do lasagna without ricotta. God. Okay. Um, all right. So I'm still confused with what happened. But what I took away from that scene, Mama was pissed that he didn't die that night. She
I
was
mean,
pissed that she didn't cash in that night.
but here's my whole thing though. Like, and this is not to be mean to our older citizens, but how, like, if his eyesight was deteriorating, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is it like he doesn't wear glasses and he's getting his license renewed if his eyesight is failing?
That's something that needs to be brought up with the California bar, though, because there have been complaints about him for years and nothing was ever done.
No, I'm talking about his eyesight though. Like how?
Right. But eyesight, hearing, forgetfulness, like she's
Right.
throwing it all in there. But
Mhm.
yet you got people like Mauricio saying, well, I saw him the other day and he was just fine. Which one is it, sis? Is that what Tom told you to say? Just asking for a friend who
And was
doesn't
he
care.
thrown from the car? Did he roll out the car? Because remember, he was in the car the whole time until her story, and he out the car, and the car is here. He's at the bottom of the cliff.
Right. How that happened?
And how'd you know he was like? How are you gonna say like?
But
Okay,
wait,
let me go back.
how
Let me go
she
back.
know he was unconscious for 12 hours if she wasn't there?
But then she say. But then she said he called. She called him.
And she called him. Was that when she thought he was with another woman?
But she put the two stories together, which was confusing.
I think everybody was real confused though. I
And
was
I'm
trying to keep
sorry.
track.
Where you live, y'all don't have no neighbors. Let's call it thing and think. You got 16,000 square feet. You have no neighbors. So were you not at home when he went over the cliff? Because if you were at home, it sounded like she was at home,
Uh-huh.
and you can hear the car rolling down the cliff in the back of your house.
No, because it was a big windy thing. And because it's at the back of the house, she might have been at the front of the house, or she might have been out by the
Okay.
pool. Wait, the pool is at the back of the house. She might have been at the front of the house with the dogs and they were barking. And she was just upset that she had to take care of the dogs, while he was out with his other woman. And did she let 12 hours go by
Well,
without calling?
she
She
just
was
assumed
just, I don't know. That
she
story
would just
didn't make no
assume
sense.
she was just she when she said she just assumed that he was out with another woman. That's when all the mouths dropped because they're like, wait a minute, he's 81 and he's up there, he's cheating on you.
But
Oh,
Kyle dishing into that story saying, "Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that." The hell you heard, girl?
but here's the thing, Kyle, baby, right messenger, right message, wrong messenger. So we don't want to talk about people hearing stories and rumblings around Beverly Hills. How you hearing rumblings about other people's husbands and not your own?
After hearing that story, I want to see the insurance documents for the car.
Mm-hmm.
Because if all that happened to the car, I want to see the insurance claim. And if all
Mm-hmm.
that happened to him, 12 hours down in a ditch with a broken ankle, broken clavicle, she
Mm-hmm.
said, and
And the shoulder
the shoulder. And
and the ankle,
why was he out for 12 hours? Did he had head injuries too?
right
Or
head
was that
injury,
the dementia?
and the ankle injury. You
And the
can't remember
ankle.
that. It was the ankle, the shoulder, and the clavicle, and he
Mhm.
hit his head, if I recall correctly.
You sure that she ain't push him down the cliff?
I mean, the car's totaled, so
I want to see the medical insurance as well. I don't know.
that
It
story just
it didn't make
evolved.
sense.
It evolved.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Crystal shares a story about her dad's Alzheimer's and how angry he was, which kind of tied in with
Mhm.
how Erica was saying he was just getting angrier every time she mentioned
Yeah.
something about his health. Um, Dorit mentions that Tom didn't want to went to court to not give spousal support. She reiterates over and over again every episode that Tom does not fund her since she left, and she has not spoken to him at all. I wonder why she keeps repeating that. It makes me suspicious. Um, Sutton was confused by the story.
I was real quick. Montana says I was
Mhm.
in insurance. That would be investigated big time. Yeah, I would think so.
Mm. But if none of these ladies knew about it, you think they covered up what happened?
Well, you remember Erica was just didn't talk about things. She only talked about what she wanted to talk about. So she was very much
Mhm.
clear in her boundaries. So I get it. Once Erica said like he had an accident, he broke his ankle, they just took it like, okay, that's it. She's not trying to talk
Mhm.
about this.
And I agree with Montana. Alzheimer patients are scared.
Yeah. But we
Yeah.
also remember Erica, shoot.
But do we believe that's what Tom has? There's like a lot of conflicting
Hmm.
opinions on it with no real diagnosis.
Exactly.
She needs to work in Hispanic telenovelas for real. She had that. Yeah, and they would like her too because, they like the blonde hair.
True.
Hmm.
I lost my train of thought. 'Cause it was something with Erica
Sorry.
and Rena. Okay, okay, that's what I was gonna say. So Rena, like, she's like, we had no clue, and I kind of believe them because we go to the trailer and see how they're reacting later on in the
Hmm.
season.
Hmm.
That tells me like Erica hid a
Okay.
lot.
So Erica says, coming towards the end of the episode, she never went through anything of Tom's until Yolanda divorced David. And she found stuff, and Tom didn't deny it. She says that she'll be okay, but she's not okay right now. Sutton says the divorce is out of a horror movie. And Lisa brings up Scott again for her storyline. Well, whatever. So how long ago did Yolanda divorce David, because she should have cut and run back then.
Let me see. When did
If you have been going through stuff since back then, you should have said something.
Yolanda, they divorced October 16th, it looks like. October 16th, 2017.
Okay, so that's 5 years ago.
Let me just double
Mm-mm.
check real quick to make sure I have it right.
Guys, what y'all think? Hit or lied, Jamal? Hit or lied? Hit or lied? Wait, what was it, Jamal, that you were saying regarding hit or lied? Oh, I gotta watch Family Karma tonight.
Mhm. Montana, which part? Hit or lied about what? Just so I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then hearing about
Vale, not the violins though.
and then hearing about Sutton's dad was terrible. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, like and then they showed the scene with her and her mama at Sutton's shop, and the
Yeah,
mama's like, Sutton, me and your daddy did not have the same relationship as you and your daddy, and no, I am not upset that he did. I was like, what?
her mama has no chill, like zero.
She need to be on the show, kind of like Dale on New York City.
Mhm.
I want her mom on the show.
Her mom said it straight up and was very to the point. And what she said
Mm-hmm.
was correct. What she said was correct.
Mm-hmm.
The relationships are different.
Mm-hmm.
The relationships are different.
But it's nice to know that the Sutton name is her dad's handwriting. That's pretty cool. What Erica say?
So what Erica say? Um, which part? I'm trying to figure out what I said. I'm so sorry,
Maybe about
Montana.
the accident, like how she's
Oh,
saying all this stuff now.
got
Did
it.
she
Okay.
hide it or did she lie?
I'm going to err on the side of. I'm going to go back to that time. Um, that time, not now. I'm going to go with that she hid it because were she to say the truth on camera, he would be investigated.
So she was covering up for his professional like
Yes,
career and
her,
standing.
her his career, his standing, her lifestyle, her music career. Those four things were her motivation for hiding it. Because you have to remember, were to be out there that he drove over a cliff, we're going to go
Mm-hmm.
with that is true. They would look into his eyesight, which and
Mm-hmm.
then I would lead them to be like, well, if your eyesight is this bad, how are you going over these court documents?
Hmm.
So yeah, she didn't want. She thought she could keep this at bay for a couple more years before he maybe didn't make it for some reason.
But honestly, who would believe her? I mean, you have Tom speaking, "I'm fine," but who
Hmm.
gonna believe her? He's the girl that he picked up at the restaurant.
But she made that point her confessional. I thought she made a very good point. At first, she was the gold digging bimbo trophy wife, and then all of a sudden she's this financial mastermind. Which one is it? And she made that's
Mm-hmm.
another good point. That's another good point.
The remainder of the season is all about that Erica T. Mm.
It is, and she's not pulling no punches. And the interesting thing is this: I understood where she was coming from. Was like, where am I gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
It was his house. I do understand that, but then again, you need to just come out and say like, you know what? I stayed because I enjoyed the lifestyle. I enjoy the clothes, the house, the jets, the money. It's nothing wrong with saying I stayed because I did not want to go back to my old lifestyle. who would want to coming from that? No one would. It's okay to say that. And I honestly feel that given this information about her going through the phone, I'm sorry, if you're going through your man's phone, which was probably in his office, you've gone through his papers.
Mm.
You can't tell you didn't see anything at that point, because at that point, if you're suspicious enough to go through your husband's phone, you're suspicious enough to go through his paperwork to find even documented evidence.
Check out what Salona said. She straight up said, I'm not confessing to anything.
Good on her. Good on her. Because you don't confess to anything. Because baby, you need to make sure you get that deal so you don't do no time.
Who was it that asked her what's going to happen to Erica Jane?
Kyle.
So did she? I thought that was a very shady question because everybody know Erica Jane was funded by Tom. What is
Right.
going to happen to her?
She doesn't know. She said she didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, this was a good episode. It kept me entertained. It went by fast. Um, we're getting to the meat of the story finally. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
geez, all these franchises. Why y'all waiting to episode 10 to give me something? But I'm okay. I understand. You got to fill out a 16 seasons. You can't give us everything in the first two.
Did we nominate an MVP for this episode?
Not yet.
I nominate the La Quinta house as the MVP of the episode.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Kyle, get on this. La Quinta needs to be the Berkshires for Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
House is gorgeous, great view. Yeah, do that, Kyle, and write them taxes off. Quit playing.
I think I saw. Well, I couldn't click on it because I didn't have time. But Montana, I think I saw the juicy scoop thing where she had one of his ex-employees. Was it bad, Montana? Like, did he dish or she dish or whoever? Did they say anything good? Because I could always go back and look for Heather McDonald's thing. Oh, excuse me. I'm having too much liquor.
But it's gonna be interesting about this because she kind of gave us quite a bit, but no juicy
Mm-hmm.
bits, not the details that we really want to know. But what's
Mm-hmm.
interesting when she said she want to know where the money is. But ma'am, you've gotten $20 million.
Yeah, because they were saying something about, Crystal brought this up. Crystal, at that point, only $2 million was frozen. And Crystal said, this isn't adding up. A man of Tom's wealth, $2 million is like writing a check. This doesn't add up.
You can't tell me that Tom loaned you $20 million over years and you don't have that money because he was paying all the bills.
Okay. Oh, a female attorney, and she's been on twice now. Sugar. I gotta go look for that
Wow,
then.
me too. But this was like I said, this was
Wait,
a good episode.
hold on. One last thing. Did you see somebody had tweeted um, at Erica? I told you when I saw them at the restaurant that Tom was out with an older woman and he was kissing her when they got up from the table, and you didn't respond or something like that. And Erica tweeted back, I just didn't respond on Twitter.
Right, I saw that.
What? Ooh,
I saw that. I saw that. I saw that tweet.
messy boots. I was miffed by why Kyle didn't secure the seasonings. Hope the lasagna wasn't made. Child, you know that she put coming in there. or cumin or cumin or however you pronounce it. She put I don't know, baking soda or something. I don't know. And as somebody said, the ricotta was the 3 white dollops that was on the top of it.
Oh, Kyle.
I'm telling you, let's just keep on going to Harry's house and let him cook for us. Not Lisa,
Mm.
Harry. Mm-mm. So, anything else about this episode, my friend?
No, I think we're good.
All right, guys. Rinna has a new lawsuit now?
Yeah, the 1.2 mil. I haven't read the article yet.
For what? What are they suing her for?
I think it's copyright infringement.
On what?
Mm.
She stole the lipsticks?
Everybody getting sued. It could be.
Oh dear.
That's what she's promoting this season.
Please, she was happy he was getting it somewhere else while she was getting all the money. Oh, Saluna.
That's how you're supposed to be, though.
Oof. Well, guys,
Let's,
let us know your thoughts on both of these shows. Leave us some comments below. You guys come up with some really great comments on these shows. Any final thoughts, Jamal?
no, they're finally picking up, and I'm happy about that.
Mm.
That's the thing. I mean, we're getting into the meat of the show, and like the fights are coming in the second half, and I'm enjoying it, especially when Garcelle and Dorit go at it. And this explains why
Wait,
Dorit
what are you
why Dorit.
talking about second half? We're not getting 20 episodes. This is the final quarter.
Okay, and then I understand why now this comes to mind why Dorit shaded Garcelle in that interview.
Oh, you mean because when she says I'm not gonna beat her when she's down or something like that? And
Yeah,
F you, Dorit?
but before the season, they asked Dorit who you think is the
Mhm.
most guarded or secretive or whatever or inauthentic, and she said Garcelle. This is preseason. I'm like,
Mm-mm. Damn. She was getting it elsewhere too. Ooh, Montana. Oof. The cheaterization of it all.
part of me thinks they had an arrangement. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. I mean, I there might have been something when they first got together, but they obviously grew apart.
Yeah,
She served her purpose for him. And then he was
correct.
done with her. And he went back to his old girl
Mhm.
or whatever her name is. All right, guys. It was great having you here. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Family Karma and Shaws of Sunset. Yeah, those are our two that we have for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dora is not the brightest bulb. No, she isn't. It is not the brightest bulb. Yes. Oh my God. Poor It. But she's pretty.
Yeah.
With
It has all the best
really, really rock hard titties.
and the best brand deals. Sorry.
Okay, whatever. She can get us a bag.
In the car. Don't get the now. She got the McLaren this season. Don't play those type of games.
But we only saw it once. Do she still got it? Or was it a loaner for the day?
Fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
If she roll up in a Range Rover saying, I had to trade it in for a family vehicle, I'ma just fall out. Whatever.
Basically.
She was taking it for a test drive that day.
Right. She fulfilled her obligation.
Oh my God. Okay, Jamal. Oh, any final thoughts?
We're good.
We're good. So
Yes.
until next time,
Of course.
bye.
Bye.